Hi guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you for tuning in to this toy declutter for my kids' toys. I'm not going to do the whole thing of voiceover, obviously, but I just thought I'd show you what we have. We have 2 doll houses here, a tub full of dinosaurs. They just have random things strewn about the house. I don't know about the rest of you with toddlers, but it's definitely a little chaotic over here. So I just thought I would take you guys through and show everything that we have. That's just a random tub full of costumes and swords and lightsabers. And we have books everywhere. We just have a lot of this random stuff. I hope that people can relate. Can anyone relate to this? Anyway, I'm hoping that this is going to clear up a little bit when I'm done with the declutter, with the minimalization of their toys. But we will see, I guess, how the day-to-day starts to go when we're done. They have a lot of trains, they have Duplo, they just have a lot of things that are left out a lot. We do toy rotations, but it doesn't work as well as I would like it to start working because there are still always just random things laying around the house. Like that's a wipe container that's not even supposed to be there. So here is their closet. This is the container for the trains that are out, the Brio. In their closet, we have a shoe hanger that has just the random little stuff in there that doesn't really fit anywhere else. It's kind of too full for my comfort level. The floor is gross. There's just random stuff everywhere. And the organization is very lacking considering the fact that we went to IKEA and bought all of these containers specifically for their toys to keep things neat and orderly. Not really happy with the way it is turned out, and I think it's just because of the volume level. This is downstairs, down a whole floor, overflow. It's blocks, several books, and just a couple of random stuffed animals are down there. Okay, so I'm doing what I can feasibly do right now, but this is not all of it because there's still stuff in the garage of theirs that's too dirty to bring in. And there's still stuff outside, some of which needs to be thrown away, some of which doesn't. But yeah, this isn't all of it. But it's certainly enough, isn't it? Oops, I almost forgot. Art supplies. That's not the kids', that's mine. This is theirs, crayons and markers. And we're planning on getting an IKEA cart to put art stuff in. That's some Play-Doh accessories, a cartoon, book, some tape, some paper. That's my hairdryer, so but this keeps going. That's a puzzle. And that drawer is empty. So not a ton, but still more stuff. I'm right back where I started with the paper clutter. I am uncomfortable. I'm dreading it. I'm a little sad. I want to take a nap. I'm a very much like, I want to take a nap, actually. All the kids are asleep, but that's the only way I can get this done. So I can either take a nap or get this done. And I've already trashed the guest room with it, so I don't really have much choice at this point. It's got to get done. I think it's going to be really hard and a big deal, and it's going to take a long time. Maybe I'll be wrong, just like with the paper. That would be great. But there's a lot of it. And it's filling up the guest room. And like I said, this isn't even all. Because, I mean, there's still the garage. And there's still outside. And there's still some random stuff in the living room that I don't feel like bringing in because it's all in containers. And I think we're keeping most of it. I don't exactly know what I'm doing. This is one of those things where I'm gonna do it, but I don't have great tools for this category. And this is the first, except for kids' books, which is more something that I use because I read them to the kids. This, other than that, is more of like, it's kind of the first thing I've done so far that is not my stuff. So I've been making all these decisions and cuts based off of me and my convictions about the minimalizing and what I want my life to look like and my preferences and all this stuff, and it made it easier. And now I'm doing it for the kids, and there's gonna be a lot of sentimental stuff that I don't wanna deal with. I'm too tired. I just don't wanna deal with it. And there's gonna be a lot of stuff that it's just like, this is their stuff. I feel bad getting rid of their stuff. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do it. I'm overwhelmed. And I've already, since making this channel, friends have already come to me and asked me, what advice do you have on getting rid of kids' toys? And I don't know. I haven't done it yet. It's hard already. And all I did was get the stuff out of the closet. Somebody help me. One of these entire IKEA cubes, which are bigger than some cubes that you would get maybe at the dollar store, it's just full of stuffed animals. And I have a couple extra on top of this, you know, just hiding in the room. This is too much. So what do? How do you go through stuffed animals? I'm gonna find out. I'll let you know. Okay, so this is what I have decided to do with their boxes that we have from IKEA. I'm just labeling them with old typewriter paper and Sharpies. It's not fancy, but our label maker died. So this is what I have, and you know, whatever. It's gonna work. It'll tell me what we have, and it's gonna be just fine. It's not fancy, but who needs fancy stuff? All right, so moving on to the boxes. This is doll stuff, pretty self-explanatory, just dolls and doll accessories. That is in that box, and that's how I'm going to label it, is baby dolls. And this is the balls. There are fake snowballs in there to throw, and just any kind of ball-related toy. This is the stuffed animal box that I have condensed down to one box, which I'm pretty pleased about. And I'm just going to label that stuffed animals because that's what they are. This is a backup lovey for my daughter because she is obsessed with it, and it has gotten so dirty so many times we've had to throw it in the washing machine, so I had to buy a backup for her. So there we go. That's just one box, and I'm really happy with that. And there we have the Duplo, and like I said, we have the other thing of Duplo as well. So here we go. We're just gonna fill this up with the labeled boxes and see how it turns out. Okay, so pardon the lighting. The kids are actually asleep when I took the video, and there's no electrical, there's no wiring in their closet, so there's actually no light in there. But we have basically 4 shelves and 3 IKEA cubes each can fit on them. So we have 12 IKEA cubes in the whole closet. And I'm keeping the floor pretty open right now. I put things in there that don't fit in the cubes, like the baby doll stroller and the sit and spin, and just a few bigger items like that that don't really fit anywhere else. But I am labeling boxes, the cubes, and I'm fitting in things that I really find add a lot of value to their playtime and to their lives. Do you guys know what I mean when there's this toy, or maybe a lot of toys in your kids' lives, and every time you see it, you just get frustrated because it's like all you ever see is it's strewn about on the floor or in a mess or broken or whatever it is. There are a lot of toys that we have, that the kids have, that I have just realized this might be a great toy. This might be an amazing toy. It might be awesome. It might have been given to us by someone we really love who put thought and love into the gift to our children and for our children. It might be just an awesome toy for other kids, but it's not necessarily an awesome toy for my kids. And this is a huge, another light bulb moment for me. I really honestly just thought about this yesterday because since I became a parent, really, my son is 4, and really since the beginning there are so many things that I've tried to just kind of smash where they don't fit, like try to cram it in where it doesn't fit. Like I've had the realization for years now that you just don't need all of the things that are like must-have baby list items before the baby comes. Like you don't need to buy 100 expensive items when you're still pregnant with your first child. You need a few things. You need like a car seat to keep them safe on the way home from the hospital. You need some clothes and diapers. They need to be fed, of course. you don't need to stack up all these things. You can buy things as they come. And some of these things, you know, I have 3 kids. I've been a parent for more than 4 years now. I have never once used a baby bath. Never needed it. I didn't want it to take up space in my apartment back when we had an apartment, which was through 2 children. We only had 3 children in a house, but for the rest of the time we had an apartment. It was a lot of square footage taken up. It would have been taken up by a baby bath. I didn't want one. I have a diaper bag still, and I'm getting rid of it because I have never used a diaper bag. I have a tote bag that I keep stocked in the car, and it just stays there. I don't take it in stores with me. I would rather every once in a blue moon, when an emergency does happen, I'd rather just go get it in the car. And it's worked fine for me. Other people that does not work for at all. I think most people would say, you don't use a diaper bag, that's insane. We get by on pretty much basics, and if we need something, we can go to the car. And like I said, I would rather be inconvenienced every once in a blue moon to go get something in the car than cart something around with me all the time that's gonna be bad for my back and my neck and everything. So I'm getting there too with the kids' toys. That's what I'm getting around to, is that diaper bags are awesome, but it was too much for me and it didn't work for me in my situation. My kids are honestly really violent. They are always wrestling with each other. They're always just banging heads, and they're not gentle with things. They're not respectful of items, which we are working on, and it's something we need to teach them. But the amount of things that we have is making that something that's impossible to teach, because they have too many things. They have so many things that they don't even care about their stuff. It's a life skill and a character quality that is important to me to teach them, and the things in our lives are not making that easier. They're not serving that purpose. They're making it harder, and they're detracting. And the fact that, you know, this one item that might be really awesome for another kid, I finally have realized that doesn't mean that it's awesome for my kid. I can get rid of it. I can give it to a kid who can really use it and love it and appreciate it and respect the item and not hurt their sibling with it or their parent. My kids are going to, and they're gonna break stuff. They just do that. They rip books. I mean, my older one doesn't do that now, but up until pretty recently with my second, she was still like just ripping books in half. Like, I don't know how they got here. Like, my husband and I have said before, like, we would never in a million years have thought to rip books in half. But you know what? Both of my kids have done it. But I'm just saying, like, there are all these amazing toys in our closet that are going to waste. Some kids love Lego, and some kids, you know, love wooden swords, or, you know, some kids love trampolines and some kids love slides. My kids just aren't good with breakable, flimsy toys. They're not good with toys that are in any way able to be violent. And I don't think they're good with toys where there are hundreds and hundreds of little items, because I think that they get overwhelmed easily. I think it's personality traits, and both of my kids, all 3 of my kids are actually extroverts. And the older 2, as they play, I think that that's part of it. They always want to be with each other and with me. They don't even like to stay in their room. They want to be in the kitchen playing toys with me because they're so needy and they don't ever want to be alone, even with each other. So, you know, they'll be in the kitchen with me, or I'll be in their room with them while they play. And I think that because they're extroverts and just the way that their brains work, I think that they just get very overwhelmed compared to like me. I'm an introvert, and even as a kid, I could just sit there by myself and just focus and just build things. I could really just focus my mind and really get in there and do one thing for a long time. I could really focus on it. And I've seen with both of my kids that they're just not really like that. And I think the fewer distractions, the better. And the times that I've cleaned the house completely and put all toys away in the closet and not let them get any out, their behavior is usually better, and they'll figure something out to play with. They'll play with each other, just with each other, or, you know, they'll find an old toilet paper tube in the bathroom, like the leftover one, and they'll use it as a telescope or a telephone. Like, they'll figure something out. I'm not saying I want to get rid of all of the kids' toys, but I have noticed that they don't focus well, especially when they're overwhelmed. So the fact that their toys are becoming more of a burden, have been for a long time actually, more of a burden than anything else, I'm really having to reevaluate, but I thought it was a really important thing to bring up, that I've realized just because something is awesome doesn't mean that it's awesome for my child. And if it's not, then I need to pass it on to someone it's awesome for. What if my 6-month-old in 6 months to a year becomes that kid who loves this thing that my older two can't really have around or don't benefit from? You know what? How many things could I not just replace if I wanted to? I think it's really important to address, just because something is great doesn't mean it's great for you. And you should pass it on to someone it's great for. So that is basically my strategy here. And I'm gonna show you in a minute basically what I'm doing, my plan, and I'll show you how much of the room I have wrecked and what things I'm categorizing. The only thing I've counted so far is they had around 60 stuffed animals, which sounds like a lot, and it is. They filled up 2 of these cubes. I'll show you the size. A lot of you probably know these IKEA cubes. They're pretty big, so filled up, overflowing to the point that I couldn't easily get them off of the shelves, which was frustrating. And I kept the stuffed animals on the top shelf so that I could not die when I take them off the shelf. I wanted to put the lightest items up there, but I couldn't really get them down without there being an avalanche because they were overfilled. So now I just have one reasonably filled cube with stuffed animals. So the stuffed animals were about half, cut about in half. But yeah, I'm gonna get started and show you guys what's going on with the room. Okay, here we have it. So I have a entire tray of several Melissa and Doug, but also otherwise puzzles. On top of that, I have at least an entire stack right here of puzzles. So do you think we have enough puzzles for the kids? My kids, I have not been able to teach them yet. I'm working on it. They just don't put their toys away. I know, that's so weird. I'm so unique to have children, toddlers, who don't put their toys away. But it's so taxing on me to have the kids be the ages that they are and to still be in that place with them just not taking care of their stuff. So sure, we're working on it and it's gonna get better, but in the meantime, I feel crazy. So I had a little bit of a disagreement with Alex on this one, but I kind of wanted to get rid of the Lincoln Logs, even though I loved them as a kid and the kids do play with them. I feel like having Lincoln Logs, blocks, and Duplo is just too many of the same category, and you guys might totally disagree with me, and I know you don't have to tell me. I know that Lincoln Logs are really awesome. I grew up with them. They're really, really awesome, and he's really liked them. But honestly, the best toy in the world for my children is Duplo. They love Duplo so much. That's not the only one I have. They have that one and this one, and I would not get rid of a single piece because they love Duplo and they play with it together, and it's one of the only toys we have. They're only 21 months apart, but it's one of the only toys we have that both of my very different personality children love. They both love them and they play together and they play so differently. My son is always building robots, and I mean mostly robots. He'll build buildings and like little things, but my daughter is the one who's usually building like food items out of it. She always thinks it's food, or she'll build flowers or something, but they both love it. So the Duplo, if I had to choose something, like one, if I could only choose one toy for them to keep, it would absolutely be the Duplo. So I'm not getting rid of that. But I feel like Duplo and blocks and Lincoln Logs are all so similar. But Alex said that they all use different like cognitive processes, and all use different motor skills and everything, which he has a point, but I don't know, like I feel crazy, so I feel like I need to get rid of more stuff. But so he came up and kind of talked me down from that and told me other things that we would like to get rid of. So one of the things we decided to get rid of was superhero stuff, which we're trying to get away from more of the branded toy items and do more the open learning type things where you don't have an association attached to something, and just trying to stay away from more of like the movie characters and all of that. We're trying to go more like Waldorf style and Montessori type stuff. And that is perfectly legitimate because we have so many things, we can afford to be picky, right? I'm fine with that because the Lincoln Logs fit right in with that idea, and so did the blocks. My main problem, you guys, is, let me show you over here. We have so many, pardon the noises, we have so many just little tiny detaily don't have their own category items. You know, you have like your building items, like Duplo is so easy, it all goes in the same tub, it's all Duplo. But then you have like your food items, like all of the food and kitchen stuff goes together. It might be little and kind of random, but it's not, because it's all food and it's all kitchen stuff. Like these are the things that really get me, because they like these, they use them, they echo, they're pretty cool, you can talk on the phone to each other. But where do I put them? I don't have a telephone cube. So I'm gonna end up having to have a just completely random cube, or I'm gonna have to put these in the behind the door shoe holder that I have, which I can show you right here. So I have this. This was actually Leah's suggestion, and I got this about probably a year ago, and I really, really like it. I would, I like it, but I would love to not have to have it, but I have to have it. This is the kind of the bane for me of the kids' toys. It's like, why do you have to have so many little tiny random items that don't really have a home? You know, it's not their fault, it's my fault. I'm responsible for their toys. They're just toddlers. So this is where all of the miscellaneous doesn't have a home stuff goes. I'm hoping to really clear out a lot of this stuff. If the lighting changes, I'm sorry. I can't control the weather. It's an overcast day, which my 4-year-old today told me overcast wasn't a word, and he laughed at me. So, but anyway, it's an overcast day. This is what I'm doing so far. I have made labels. Is that as crooked as it looks? Wow. You know what? I should let it go, but I can't. You'd think someone with handwriting like this wouldn't be that bothered, but I think it's still off center. Anyway, Lincoln Logs. Since my husband insisted, we're keeping these, and I'm fine with that. We do have a bunch of kind of fun magnetic Lincoln Logs that have kind of been annoying because there aren't that many of them. There aren't enough to really build anything with, and they are mismatched. They're a totally different thing. They're not real Lincoln Logs. They're just kind of knockoffs with magnets in them where they stick together. But Alex and I kind of find them annoying, so we're gonna get rid of those because they don't really go with the rest of the set, and maybe someone else out there has some and would like to add to their collection. So we're gonna get rid of those. I'm starting with the bottom shelf, and I'm gonna move up from there to tell you guys what we're keeping. But the bottom shelf is all of the heaviest stuff for obvious reasons, because I don't wanna, you know, have stuff just fall on me. So that's the most accessible shelf in the closet. So on that one is all the red cubes, so that's Lincoln Logs. We have the train stuff. Is this one crooked too? I think I have a problem. Anyway, train stuff. So this would be like the Brio and the off-brand Brio from IKEA. And then of course we have the Duplo. The Duplo is a little tricky because it has 2 containers, one of which is totally mismatched from the other one, but I'm gonna figure that out, and I'll show you the closet when I'm all done, so stay tuned towards the end, I guess, for that. I got a little bit into it and I hit a wall, and I'm drinking coffee, so maybe that'll help, but I'm kind of just getting overwhelmed and tired and I want to take a nap. I have this great example of what I was saying earlier of this is like, as far as I know, a one-of-a-kind, like vintage type item. My husband grew up with these. He apparently played with these a ton and loved them. So these are cool, and we can't get rid of these. But I am making a decision to give these back to my husband's parents because we've had them for about 2 years, and Han just doesn't play with them. He just doesn't, and even Alex admits that. And it's not that maybe he wouldn't ever, but it doesn't feel like something that we should be keeping right now, because, you know, there might be another grandchild someday from one of the other kids who would actually play with these, and it's a family item of theirs, and our kids just don't play with them. And once again, this is one of those items great for some kids, including Alex and his siblings. Not great for our kids right now, at least, because they are just being too rough with them. They're taking them apart and just scattering them everywhere, and honestly, it makes me crazy because I find them everywhere and they don't even play with them, and I still find pieces of them everywhere, and it's just not good for them. It's good for some kids, but not mine. Here is a random item that I am definitely keeping. My mom gave them, well, she gave my oldest this for Christmas when he was the only one. It was about a month before my second was born, and it's Luke Skywalker. It's Star Wars nesting dolls, and they're really cute and they're really funny. And I don't know, when I was a kid, I had my grandmama's nesting dolls that I would play with at their house, and I still have them, and I think they're really awesome. There's something about nesting dolls that's just fun and cool, and I specifically asked my mom to get him this because I thought he would really like it, and they both do. They really like it, and they get a weird amount of times enjoyment out of just playing with these nesting dolls. I don't know why. I'm gonna keep this, even though it may not be, it's probably not gonna be a forever toy, like an heirloom toy, but they really like it for some reason. You guys, the bed is covered, completely covered in just the random stuff that doesn't really have a home. So this is what I'm about to tackle. I'll let you know how it goes. Something else that I am definitely keeping is kitchen stuff. So in the future, this might change, and we might get rid of their little kitchen set that we got for free from someone who was selling their house. But they, for right now, they really love kitchen stuff. We have a lot of it. It is overwhelming, but I'm hoping that once we get rid of some of the excess, this is one of those things that will come back in as being more valuable and something that they will enjoy more of. This is, I got this for Christmas from Alex's parents last Christmas, and it's a little Instant Pot. It's so cute. And it came with a little broccoli and a rotisserie chicken, and it actually, I'm not sure if it has water in there right now, but so I don't think there's any water in there right now, but it pushes out cold steam, which is so cute, and they really like it. They have a ton of food that actually Leah gave us, and they've been really using that a lot. I'm not really sure how that play is supposed to work, because a lot of times they just will bring me food to eat, and I don't know what to do with it except pretend to eat it just over and over and over and over again. And if they don't have the food out, they'll just make me like a sock sandwich or a book sandwich or something. They still do it, but without the toys. And I think a lot of people can probably relate to that. So part of me is conflicted about even keeping the kitchen stuff, because if I'm really being extreme about this and trying to make a difference and change our lives, then part of me is like, well, do they even need any of the kitchen stuff? But I told Alex last night when we were really getting into this situation, like really discussing like, what is this supposed to look like for our family, and what are toys supposed to add to our lives and everything. What I said was, for me, all of this is kind of like an onion, and we just need to start peeling, and this is the first few layers. So once we do this first purge, even if it's maybe not as much as I would like it to be ideally, I'm gonna do what feels like the right decision now, and once we have a reasonable amount of toys, maybe there'll be all these toys we have that they still don't end up playing with and still don't end up loving. And then we can peel back more layers. We can do it again and again and again, however many times we need to. Plus, Christmas is always coming up somehow. It happens every year. Once we peel back some onion layers, we might find some more layers on the bottom that we need to peel again. And we can get rid of more then, and we have the freedom to do that. So for now, I'm just doing what seems right for us right now, and we can do a little bit of experimentation and toy rotation to see what actually is working for us. All right, I'm slowly getting there. This is days later. That's a common theme for me in these videos, but my kids are pretty high maintenance. Anyway, I have the categories all laid out. I'm gonna show you guys the boxes and the way that I labeled them. And we decided to only have 11 boxes because we need a space for one of the Duplo brand containers. But other than that, everything is pretty good. I'm gonna show you what I'm keeping, and I'm gonna show you how it's organized in the closet. And once again, I apologize for the lighting in the closet. I just don't have lighting in there. I don't have a light, so it is what it is, but I'll do my best to make it clear and to make it show up for you guys. Here we go. All the labeled boxes. We have kitchen toys, obviously. That just includes a little campfire, the Instant Pot, a lot of food items, a little toaster, a little latte maker, all the balls, like I mentioned earlier, and that includes a baseball glove, just because that's where I think it should go right now. I have a dress-up container that has lightsabers in it, and Star Wars costumes, and a dragon costume that I really love that has been through both of the kids so far, and we'll probably go to the third one eventually when she's old enough. And miscellaneous. This one didn't end up getting too full. Stuffed animals I got from 2 bins down to just 1, so I'm pretty happy about that. And honestly, I don't know how many of these they will even use anyway, so we'll see how that pans out, if that's even useful. I got it done, I think, just about. The guest room is still a little bit trashed from all the giveaway stuff that I don't have boxes for. But I'm gonna show you guys what the closet looks like now. Okay, starting at the bottom, I'm definitely gonna do something here later, but I'm not sure exactly what. I might put the bookshelf back in. They have this bookshelf for their books from IKEA. I really like it. I think most of their books are gonna fit there when we bring them all up. And that used to be in here, and if we put it in here and I find that they can still access it and have an easy time with the books, keeping them put away and all of that, then I will probably still keep it in here. But this is just a baby mat that we use frequently. This is the baby doll stroller that doesn't fit in the cube, so that's just where that has to go. And normally they have a little toy broom that they keep in here because it doesn't fit anywhere else either. So I'll probably tidy this up, do something else later, but for now this is fine and there's plenty of room. And these are just random little bags that toys were in that we are getting rid of. But I don't want to get rid of the bags quite yet, just in case we need them for the random little things that pop up later. So I'm just going to keep those for a little bit and see what we might need them for. But here's the first row. We have Duplo here. These are my very weird little homemade tags. I just used paper, I cut them up, and I taped them on, and who knows how long this will last, but our label maker broke. So for now, this is what I have. So we have Duplo, Lincoln Logs, and train stuff. And then this is the overflow Duplo. And like I said earlier, Duplo is the one toy I would keep if I had to keep something. So yeah, we only have 2 gray cubes. And baby dolls, little people, that's just like little people sets. They have a fire engine set, and they have a Noah's Ark, and they have a farm that they love. And she honestly has too many dolls. And Han has a doll in there too. But it all fits, so for now I'm good with that. And yeah, I can show you guys how things fit, since I would be interested in seeing that if it were someone else's video. The Lincoln Logs fit very well in here, and they were in a container and overflowing, so there's plenty of room. It's only about halfway full in the box. The Duplo is fine in there, and the train stuff fits fine as well. So that's all good. Up here we have just the balls, and I showed that earlier in another clip. Miscellaneous. This ended up being, and honestly I don't know how you can get away with not having a miscellaneous category, but if you can, more power to you. Here is a blanket that Alex's mom gave them, and it's just a US map, like a states map. It's pretty cool, but I don't really have a category except for miscellaneous to put that in. These are just fuzzies that I put in a sanitized egg carton that they play with sometimes. And I don't know if I'll keep those, but for now I will. And their blocks are in there right now, and like a drawing pad and just a couple of extra little, like I said, miscellaneous items. The kitchen stuff, we already went over that. And we have stuffed animals up here. It looks like it's overflowing. It's honestly not that bad, but every time I put it up there, because it's so tall, it just kind of scrapes against the ceiling, and it looks like there's too many. But I still might get rid of more, I don't know. That was their dress up container. And then I have one just for puzzles. So for now, that is basically all. And it looks pretty good. And I'm pretty happy with it. And they have a few things out. They have a play kitchen right here. And they have a sit-in spin that goes in the closet too. And of course they have just like a couple of random things sitting out. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I also have the behind the door hanger. This is one of my favorite things that they have. It's little painted people that my nieces made for my two kids for Christmas, 2 Christmases ago, with these felt backgrounds that they sewed themselves, and it's just awesome. So those are in there. We just have a little place for cars, some dreidels, and that's Han's church toy, because it's very quiet. Way too many hair bows, but I don't really know how to get started with that. This is just some gloves with fuzzies on them that tells the story of the gospel. These are paw prints that you're supposed to hide around and find them. It's kind of like a hide and seek scavenger hunt thing. The nesting dolls, the phones, and this is still like the only place I can find to put these. I guess I could put them in the miscellaneous box at this point, but they fit and we have plenty of spaces. This very cool butterfly that's bendable, and some silly putty, and then a mechanical Chewbacca that rolls around the house. And then we have several empty ones. So I'm pretty happy with that too. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Thank you for watching me do this kids toy redo. I got rid of a lot of their stuff, so definitely minimalism video for them. And I will see you all in the next video. I might even do something with the kids' garage toys or outdoor toys in the future, so we'll have to see. But I'm gonna hopefully make a kids playlist, and we'll see what happens with that. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I hope that you like and subscribe to our channel. That would really be appreciated. And we will have more videos coming up for you guys soon. Thanks. Have a great day.